Hey yo, what is going on everyone? It is your boy Sabotage here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the basics of how to build any gun in the game. So pretty much the best attachments for every single gun, rifles, SMGs, LMGs, snipers, anything like that. I'm pretty much going to be showing you guys the best attachments for all guns, things that you want to run in general on every single weapon, because pretty much there is a basic like meta of attachments that you can use on pretty much anything and make it decent. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and at 1,000 I'm going to be buying the last couple parts for my PC so I can of course have better frames and stuff like that, and it will make better content. So if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button, it will mean a lot. Like I said, we're getting close, and even if you're just one person, it really helps. Also, at 1,000 subscribers, I will be streaming on my new PC. So streams coming at 1,000 subscribers, I will probably stream every single day in the afternoon, and then probably most of the day on weekends, to be honest. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into this video. So, pretty much, I like to run, now this is pretty much my preference, all of these are, but this is what most people run. So whenever you guys are looking at this, keep in mind that these are my classes, so this is not what every single player in the world uses. This is just what I recommend. So we're going to go ahead and start off by using this class, for example. Also, ignore my names. They're all just very confusing and mixed up because I've changed a lot of stuff and I just need to go back through and organize them all. But anyway, we're going to use this class for an example. So let's go ahead and use a... we'll use the MP7 for an example. So we're going to go ahead and select this now. What do you want on an SMG? You want mobility, of course, because it is meant to be a quick moving, high ADS, high movement speed gun. Now for Warzone though, it depends, because you do not want to have the same Warzone and multiplayer class because they're two different modes. Warzone, you want to have more slower type weapons but more control so you can really beam people. And then in multiplayer, you want to have more control so you can be faster. It's just honestly two different games, so make sure to keep that in mind. Now, for an SMG that I would build for multiplayer, I would build it something like this. I would want to have a big barrel on it, the biggest one that you can get that has the most damage, range, the biggest bullet velocity, and the most recoil control on it. And on top of that, if you're playing CDL, I would recommend putting on a compensator for that recoil control because people are going to know where you are regardless, even if you have the monolithic suppressor on it. But I would definitely run a compensator if you're playing more CDL type stuff, more recoil control so you can hit all of your shots, because in recoil or in CDL that's the biggest thing. Now when it comes to Warzone or basic S&D without like the CDL on it, I would run monolithic. So we're gonna go ahead and just do basic for now. We're gonna go ahead and put a monolithic suppressor on it. Now, if we were doing more of a Warzone or basic multiplayer game mode, like just normal S&D, no like CDL or anything with it, then we would go with a monolithic suppressor, mainly because the sound suppression and the damage range. Now, on Warzone, you want to have sound suppression. You want to have sound suppression because that is the biggest thing. You do not want people knowing where you are, and you want to be sneaky, and obviously monolithic suppressor is the best out of all of these when it comes to that. When obviously in CDL, a lot of people are going to know where you are regardless because they wear headphones, so I wouldn't worry about this too much. So since this is just a basic multiplayer class, we're not really building a CDL one. We're going to go ahead and go with the monolithic suppressor along with the barrel. So these two things help with bullet range, recoil control, and bullet velocity. Now, obviously, we need to remember that we do need this to be an SMG, not a freaking rifle. So like I said earlier, let's go ahead and turn this into a basic multiplayer MP7. So now, it depends what game mode you're playing. If you're playing like 10v10 or something, then you definitely want to run a 60-round magazine. If you're playing more S&D, I would definitely run a 50, just because I feel like 40 just is not enough, even for multiplayer, because it's enough to kill one person, but that second person, I just feel like this gun shoots so fast that I believe you probably want to have that extra 10 bullets, even though it doesn't take it down too much. The 60 actually doubles the mobility kill. So because I'm pretty much turning this into a S&D gun, I'm going to go ahead and put on the 50 round. And if you miss a lot of shots and you're pretty new to the game, I would recommend putting on the 60. Now, I want this gun to be quick. I want to be able to slide like underneath people and get behind them easily. So we're going to put on no stock because I want the movement speed and I want the ADS speed. So we're going to go ahead and put that on that. Now, the best thing for SMGs for the underbarrel is either the Merc or the Commando. But the Merc is way better than the Commando when it comes to SMGs, so we're going to put the Merc on it. So this right here would be my multiplayer MP7 that I would use in just normal multiplayer. If I would switch this up for CDL, this is what it would look like. It would look something more around... let me go ahead and fix this up. If I was building something for more of a CDL class, I would build something like this. Recoil control, recoil control, recoil control, recoil control, and then more ammo. It is kind of slow, but at the same time it melts. So this is what I would build for more CDL. Now when it comes to Warzone, I would definitely build something more along the lines of probably this. Or in fact, I think I would... Would I change anything with this? No. Alright, so now that you guys kind of know how I build SMGs, let's go ahead and move to a rifle. I'm going to select a random one, M13. Now, if you have noticed a trend, now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys like my classes, just so I can scroll through. If you guys notice things in common, this is a Warzone class. Look, monolithic suppressor. I do not know why that's there. I think that's supposed to be like a quick scoping type of build for that gun. I don't know really what. I never really use this, so that's probably why. These are my main two classes that I'm using right now. As you can see, monolithic. I'll get into rifles in a little bit. Monolithic. So if you guys are kind of getting a trend here, monolithic suppressor is definitely a need for most guns, depending on what mode you're playing. Like I said, most people aren't playing CDL, So I would definitely recommend running a monolithic suppressor on every single gun, and you can tell that Activision knows that it's the best because on most guns they put it towards the bottom. Alright, now for rifles, obviously you want to have the muzzle monolithic suppressor like I've said multiple times. Now whenever it comes to rifles, every single time I'm building a rifle, I put the biggest barrel on it every single time. And for every single gun, I recommend putting on the longest barrel possible if it has a barrel option. Because what is the point of building the gun if it's not even shooting very far? Then for rifles, this is literally a default. If you build this class on any rifle in the game, you'll be literally god tier. Put on a Commando foregrip for the underbarrel on every rifle you use. It is the best, longest barrel, monolithic suppressor. Put on stippled and no stock or close quarters. This is the best multiplayer AR class you can do. If you just do this setup on any AR in the game, it will absolutely wreck for you. Now, if you were building more of a Warzone type class, I would definitely not even run a stock. Now, if you were going to put a optic on it, I would recommend using the the best one that everyone is using, the VLK optic. This one absolutely smacks, but for this one, we're just going to use a basic class build. So I would recommend putting on the longest barrel possible, except if you're building a AR that has more of like a slower fire rate. I would definitely recommend putting on the 50, but the M13 has a crazy amount of fire rate, so 60 round is a need because this thing just goes through the clips like it's nothing. Then if I was not running a scope on my AR for Warzone, I would recommend putting on a rubberized instead of anything else. Rubberized, biggest mag possible, Commando, longest barrel, and monolithic. For ARs, if you use this build on any freaking AR in the game, it will smack. And if you can simply just take off the rubberized grip tape and put on a VLK, and it will be literally just as good, except it's more of a longer range AR. And like I showed you with my SMGs, I like to have the longest barrel possible, the monolithic suppressor, a decently sized magazine, and some mobility thrown in there as well. Now, I'm not going to go over shotguns. If you use shotguns, you're gay, so we're just going to go ahead and skip over that. LMGs. These pretty much go exactly with rifles. Every single time I'm building an LMG class, I use the exact same attachments that I would use on a rifle. Marksman rifles, I never use these at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip over these. If you're building a marksman rifle class, you can pretty much do the same with a basic sniper, so we're going to go ahead and look at snipers now. And I'm going to use the HDR for this one. So, for Warzone snipers, I would recommend putting on monolithic suppressor right off the bat. longest barrel right off the bat. Let's see, since there's different attachments for everything, I would put on sleight of hand or focus. It depends what you're kind of going for with this class. Are you trying to build a class where you sit down in the farthest part of the map and just snipe people from miles and miles and miles away, or are you going for someone that kind of gets close to people and snipes them? Because focus is definitely for that, because that can really help you with the flinch resistance. If you don't know what that is, pretty much if someone's shooting at you, it helps keep your scope down while you're shooting at them. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on for this one. Start building more of a warzone class here. And then you can kind of choose if you want the default scope. For mine, I like the variable. I like to zoom in as much as I can. And then you can go for one of two things. You can go for a bigger magazine, or you can put on a stock. For this one, I'm going to put on the champion stock because we get more stabilization and aim walking steadiness while we are shooting them. So this would be my perfect HDR class that I was running in Warzone. Now, if we were going for more of a multiplayer class, I would take off the barrel completely. I'd put on a laser. I'd turn the stock to a ADS stock. Probably take off the variable. Put the focus to sleight of hand. And then I would maybe put on a bipod or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Next, if you're building an AX multiplayer class, build a quick scoping one. Don't be a puss. We're going to go ahead and put on every single attachment that has ADS on it, along with, we'll go with focus, because when you're quick scoping people, you got to be able to hit them perfectly. So this is what I would use in multiplayer. Super quick ADS, and you can just bot people really quickly. So I didn't want to make this video crazy long, but it is already pretty long. That is how you guys make basic attachments on most guns. If you guys want, just go down in the comment section below and comment a gun, and I will build you the best class for it, because I know some guns don't really fit in these. Alright everyone, I hope this video helped you guys. Like I said, comment down a gun. I'll help you with it if you guys want to. These are some of the basic attachments I would recommend running on every single gun. But anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.